Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, before we begin our next session, let's take a look at the video we want to play for you.
Every handshake, every idea shared here today comes with an invisible cost. Conferences like this account for 10% of global carbon emissions from energy, waste, and travel. That flight you took, the power lighting this stage, it all adds up. The reality is that each participant can be responsible for approximately 1.3 metric tons of carbon emissions during a multi-day event. That's roughly equivalent to flying from Malaysia to Paris. There is always a choice to reduce carbon footprint, from choosing renewable energy and locally sourced catering to eliminating single-use plastics and turning waste into resources. Better events start with you. Scan now and fill in the carbon emissions survey. Every mile you travel contributes to high-integrity, verified carbon projects. Let's build a sustainable future together.
Thank you very much. As you saw, SAC 2025 is proud to be organized as a carbon neutral event, and as part of this initiative we invite all participants to complete the carbon emission form available via the Clienta app or designated QR code. So please do so, and with the support of Saxon Renewable as our climate solution partner. And now with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'd now like to begin with our third session on circular, regenerative and resource-efficient redefining growth. May I please invite Mr. Girish Ramachandran, Executive Director of 27 Advisory and Advisor Orion Mirai, on stage, please, to moderate this session. And may I also invite the panelists for this segment to be on stage. Mr. Jussi Veikko Saloranta, Chairman of the Board, Corsair Group International. Mr. Saiful Azmin bin Nordin, Managing Director, Landasan Lumayan Sendirian Berhad. Ms. Diana Binti Muhammad Amin, Head of Sustainability and ESG, Iskandar Investment Berhad. Ms. Elina Jani, Chief Sustainable Officer, Next Green Global Berhad. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Before we begin this session this afternoon, we also like to remind you that you can pose any questions that you have via the QR code. So please do not hesitate to do so. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can I get a clicker here? Sorry. So my name is Girish from 27 Advisory, and I'm pleased to moderate the session. Thank you, MDBC Control Union. And we've got an interesting topic here on circular economy, regeneration, and also the shift from linear to circular. We've got a very distinguished panel here of speakers, well diversified and also inclusive. What I'd like to do is give you a 101 on circular economy, and we'll go into each of the speakers who have a different angle of each of them, and then we'll have a little bit of a discourse around some of the key topics around the circular economy. What I'd like to, I think we do have a Q&A that you can use the mobile app on the right of the screen. If you have any questions, We'll try and see if we have some of those to be able to go through. I will be introducing the speakers one by one in a while, but just a bit about circular economy. This is a chart that shows what we are extracting out of the earth over the last 50 years. Interesting to see that it's growing, which means all of y'all are consuming, you're extracting things out of the earth. We also call this natural capital. Yeah, if you want to know more about this, Google natural capital. And it's tripled over the last 50 years. Yeah, and the main reason for this is back to climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution, and of course, a lot of it is coming back to stress on the planet. So what are we taking out? That's on the left, what we're taking out. And we basically have what comes out on the right, which are 11% waste that is destined for recycling. Now that's terrible, 11%. Yeah, the 35% of it are waste and emissions from carbon neutral biomass. And you've got the rest of it, which essentially are disposed without recovery and things that are basically used for energy. Now, I'm a firm believer that waste should not go into energy. It should be recycled, reused, and that's where the circular economy comes in. If we look at who's consuming, the more we earn, the more prosperous we are as a nation, we generally are going to consume more. Yeah, and that's what this chart shows. The higher our incomes are, the more we are generally consuming. Now, this is interesting because we would imagine that we would be more educated the more you earn, and the more we would want to consume less. But it's not that case. Yeah. So the fault lies in those countries that are growing fast, higher incomes, and also those developing countries that are going to reach that statistics. So the circular economy, very simple. We have a linear economy now. I take something out of the earth. Where does it go? It ends up in a landfill. The circular economy takes it, it reuses it, we make it into something else, and we bring it back into consumption. Yeah, it's not rocket science. We've been doing it for many years. It's just that what's happening now is we're not producing thinking of this, and we're not consuming thinking of this. So really it's about regeneration. The word regeneration is starting to come back more often these days, in particular in agriculture. But it's also coming back heavily in manufacturing. And this is where we need to move forward on. So this is a more complex aspect on the circular economy. I won't go through this in view of time, but you can Google Ellen MacArthur Foundation. There's a whole website on this. It tells us how we impact the industry, the ecosystem, and how it's built. It's really got a lot of money in it. That's what I want to say. Yeah, for those of you who are thinking of setting up your new startup, take a picture of this. This is going to be where the new money is. It's already there. And find a space that it works for you. So we were considerate to work on a couple of studies in circular economy. One of them was the Low Carbon Society Blueprint for Iskandar, Malaysia. We did a whole carbon emission assessment over the next 30, 40 years, and what are those strategies to make it more resilient. We also worked on the solid waste circular economy blueprint, one of the first in the country for Malaysia, and we've got some information on that. Forgive me if this is not in English, but these are the targets for Malaysia. 2035, we need to basically consume less per capita. We're consuming 1.1 kilograms of solid waste produced per day per person. That's a lot of waste, solid waste, yeah? And of course, things that move to the landfill, we divert them away from the landfill into the circular. So that's a bit about what circular economy is. Let me get on with the panel. So we shall start with Jay. Jay has asked me to call him Jay. He's a serial entrepreneur, an investor, a director from Corsair Group, and he's got a background on business sectors. He's including real estate, hospitality, finance. He's been particularly involved in green and the energy, alternate energy market, and he's running the board of Corsair. So Jay, you've got probably about, my guess, 2 minutes to introduce your company, and I've got a few questions for you after that. Over to you. Sure. Can we have a round of applause for him, please? Thank you.
Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to be here with you today. Corsair is a company founded in the year 2020 with offices located in the Netherlands, Thailand, and Finland. Our main focus as a company is to develop solutions to tackle the global plastic waste crisis. And thank you very much for sharing some of that information. And I'm sure that we all understand that we have a very large problem with plastic waste. For example, just last year alone, the global production of new plastics around the world was nearly 500 million metric tons. Doesn't say much, but when you compare that to the total weight of every single human being on the planet, which combines to be about 350 million metric tons, now those numbers makes a lot of sense. So in 1 year alone, we are producing more new plastics than the combined weight of the humanity. And with the global recycling rate of plastic waste today being approximately 5%, you could say we got a problem. I actually very much agree on the business point of view, what you just shared regarding the opportunity. I've always believed that the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. And that's what we're looking at here. To make matters even worse, it has been projected that the production of global plastic is going to triple in the next 30 years. This means that at the moment, the production of new plastic is growing 10 times faster than the development of the global plastic recycling infrastructure. So if we don't actually do something very, very quickly, we are going to literally drown under all of this plastic garbage. We at Corsair have now, for the last 5 years, been successfully operating an advanced chemical recycling operation based on the concept of pyrolysis in our facility in Bangkok, Thailand. In the facility, we use plastic waste, everything from plastic bags, wrapping materials, all types of packaging products, and we convert that plastic waste back into its original form, which is oil. Something that might come as a surprise for some people is that all of these plastic products that we use every day have originally been made from crude oil coming from the ground. What we are able to do is we're able to convert the plastic back into this oil called pyrolysis oil, which can then be used by our partners in the petrochemical industry to produce from that oil new plastic products. So I'm sure that some of you have heard about the pyrolysis process and the chemical recycling in a way of creating fuels. Our entire production is targeted and goes into the petrochemical industry, used by our offtake partners like Shell, that uses that as a raw material for the production of new, better and more environmentally friendlier plastics. Now, the plastic waste that we utilize comes from a number of sources. We manage at the moment one, and later in the beginning of next year we'll be expanding to another Thai government-owned landfill, where we actually do the daily operations of mining old plastic from the landfill and also processing new incoming community waste from where we take the plastics out. Additionally, we work together with more than 100,000 Thai fishermen for whom we pay for plastic that they bring to us from the ocean. And last but not least, we also collect plastic from more than 150 collection points throughout the city of Bangkok, as well as from our plastic waste collection center, where we pay for some of the people living in the largest slum area of Thailand. We pay for them per kilo of plastic that they bring to us, providing for them additional income while they clean their own community. Here you can see a quick example of what our production facilities look like. Additionally to our Thailand operations, we also expanded into Europe in 2023, where we are now also operational in the country of Finland. If we wanted to solve the global plastic waste crisis, the easiest way to do that is to put monetary value on the plastic garbage. This is exactly what we have done by launching in 2021 our version of the plastic credit called the CSR Plastic Credit. The CSR Plastic Credit is a digital receipt which proves that plastic waste has been removed from the environment. It operates on the Ethereum blockchain, making it real-time, transparent, and publicly accountable. Every time when Corsair removes plastic from the environment, either by our own actions or by one of our contributors who participate in these projects, all of this physical work is then audited by a third-party independent auditor. We are extremely happy to have been working together with Control Union now already for approximately 2 years. With Control Union, we have created a specific standard where every single action related to the issuance and distribution of the plastic credits is monitored and documented. Therefore, I would also like to extend my gratitude for the great team of Control Union for this fantastic work that we have done together and where we see a great future for us. Now, if we want to solve the global plastic waste crisis, the solutions are already there. It means that all of us need to come together and create the value for this waste. It means that the ones who pollute will have to also participate in the cleaning process. I see a future where plastic waste is recycled exactly the same way how we today recycle metal, glass, and paper. It's going to take some time, but there is a lot of opportunities in this. That being said, I would like to invite all companies, organizations, and even individuals who value the planet and value the future of the environment to come and collaborate with us. We have a number of opportunities what we can do together. That being said, let's leave a healthier, safer, and greener future for our future generations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jake. Have a seat. Thank you. So just very interesting. So a couple of things we have on my mind. How does the economics work for something like this? You mentioned you're paying the Thai fishermen a certain amount. Could you share some of that with us? And you know, what does that translate for a profit from your organization? And and any sharing that you can do on that topic?
Absolutely. So thank you for the question. What we have during the last 5 years proven is that plastic waste chemical recycling based on the concept of pyrolysis can be at the same time very effective. For example, from 1,000 kilos of plastic waste collected from the landfills, we are able to generate as much as 900 liters of ISCC certified pyrolysis oil. Because of the new regulations, the petrochemical industry, the manufacturers of these plastic products that we use on a daily basis, are now obligated to use recycled raw material in the manufacturing of new plastics. This new regulation, which we can see rolling out globally, which very much originates from European Union, is something that is going to continue to create even more and more demand for pyrolysis oil, which meets the extremely high quality criteria of the petrochemical companies. We are today one of the only companies in the world that is able to continuously, steadily produce and provide this type of product for the petrochemical industry. I can share with you that the current market value for high quality pyrolysis oil, which is standard and regulated and certified under the ISCC program, would be approximately $1 per liter. Production cost, depending on the country, depending on the location, would of course be very different, but you would typically look at, in the developing areas, somewhere between maybe 20 to 50 cents a liter. That gives you an idea of the fundamentals. Looking at other areas like Europe, where recyclers are also receiving so-called gate fees, which means that in order for you to do the work, you are also getting, as a recycler, paid additional income for processing this plastic waste. This is something that I believe will happen soon globally. It will happen here in Asia as well. Because again, the only way and the fastest way how we're ever going to solve this plastic waste crisis is to put value into the plastic waste. This being done, there will be more and more individuals and companies that will be incentivized to go and collect this plastic and bring it into the proper recycling channels. Thank you.
So I'm confused here. You're selling it at US dollar, you're making 80 cents, 80% gross profit margin. Why is this taking so long for us to solve? Very quickly, what does Malaysia need to do to accelerate something like this?
Well, there's been a number of companies that have over the years tried this, and we have been able to identify the challenges and the problems that these companies have had and what mistakes they have done over the years. And at our end, at Corsair, we have been able to overcome a lot of these big problems or issues that the industry of plastic waste chemical recycling was previously challenged by. And therefore, we as a company now have a proven concept. We are already operational in Thailand for 5 years, now in Europe for 2 years. We're expanding to different countries here in Southeast Asia, to North America, to Europe. And really what is needed right now, for example, to solve the situation here in Malaysia, is more collaboration. I will answer one of the further questions here, which is also what has been holding us back. Well, very clearly, it's not the raw material. Anybody who tells you that there's a problem with feedstock, I hear this all the time. Recyclers say, oh, we would love to do this and that, but we don't have the feedstock. Haven't you seen the mountains of plastic that are literally overflowing? I believe that in the next coming years, we're going to start to change our behavior, and we're going to start to see those mountains of plastic as mountains of gold. because that's what they truly are. And we have been able to put together a proven and financially viable business model which we can now expand. The challenge that we've had over the years has been that we've been operating with a very, very limited budget. Even still today, we don't have a single euro, single dollar of institutional money in our operations. We are fully self-funded.
Thank you. So moving on to our next distinguished panelist, Encik Saiful. A bit of introduction. He's an MD of Landasan Lumayan, which is a subsidiary of Menteri Besar Selangor, which is the Chief Minister's office in Selangor. And he's been spearheading Klang River rehabilitation. He has 24 years experience in corporate strategy restructuring, and he's been championing ESG for the MBI group of companies. And welcome, Encik Saiful.
Thank you.
I believe you have a short presentation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Would you like to do it here, or? Yeah. So maybe if you can give us a quick sort of sharing on what you've been doing in terms of something which fits into what Jay has been doing. He's paying for plastic. I believe you're going to be collecting the plastic. Please tell us more.
Thank you, Girish. Very good afternoon to all. Let's start with the rate of recycling in Malaysia. As at 2024, the recycling rate is close to 37.9%. And 2025, we are targeting, can I have the slide? Oh, okay. In 2025, we are targeting to reach 40%. But even if we can achieve that 40%, the remaining 60% of the plastic, where it goes? Other than landfill, the plastic goes to the river. This is the picture of the Klang River somewhere in Shah Alam. Since 2016, we have collected more than 95,000 metric ton of waste. 80% of it is plastic. And in order to collect this waste from the river, it requires a lot of, it's not a typical waste collection on the street. We need to have a right infrastructure for the river cleaning. And this 95,000 metric ton of waste, where does it come from? Who's the culprit? Could be either one of us. It could be us actually, because indirectly we don't realize that our behavior in managing our domestic waste will eventually contribute to this problem. So 95,000 metric ton of waste, if you want to put into perspective, equivalent to 430 Boeing 747. So we don't have gold, but we have Boeing 747 in our river. And since 2016, the state government had invested close to 20 million just to clean up through our project, just to clean up the waste. And I keep on saying that why should we spend our own money to clean up our own mess? Because technically, river does not generate waste. The waste is coming from us. And in 2018, we have started collaboration with the Ocean Cleanup. Wherever you see a picture of Klang River on the internet, you will see this huge machine. We call it Interceptor. So they help us a lot in terms of enhancing our cleaning infrastructure. And also in terms of promoting the sustainability or the river cleaning works that we have done so far. And this year we had enhanced our collaboration with the OC. They bring in a lot of multinational companies to be with us, to be part of this project. We have completed the construction of small-scale sorting facility to take a small step to divert waste, all the plastic from the river to the landfill. But if we look at the quality of the plastic, it's not economical for us to do recycling, because this plastic has been contaminated. It has been in the river for quite some time. We have to add another layer of process to clean up the plastics before the off-taker could come and buy the plastic from us. So, 2016, we have started the river cleaning. Many people ask us, are you a river cleaning contractor to the government? I said no. Because if you are the river cleaning contractor, our KPI, more waste, more money for us. But we are not a river cleaning contractor. We measure our performance based on the reduction of waste and how the reduction of waste contribute to the water quality improvement. If you look at the slides, the first year of operation, we've collected 16,400 metric ton of waste. And as of today, 3,000 in the year 2025. A reduction of 82% of waste since the first year of operation. And if you look at the water quality improvement, of course, there still need to be done to improve the water quality. But to a certain extent, the water quality has improved from just a 50% of the numbers of days in a year, the water quality at class 3 and above. Now, we managed to achieve more than 60%. And we are targeting by 2030, the water quality at the Klang River at all time class 3 and above. So, in summary, what we are trying to say is that actually our business activity is the development, to unlock the development potential along the river. We have started a few development, including the catalyst development. But eventually, because of this problem, we have to do the river cleaning. It disrupts our business activity. We shouldn't clean the river in the first place. So in summary, I think it's time for us to look into promoting a policy that could promote tackling pollution at source, separation at source, recycling, reuse, whatever they call it, has to be implemented seriously, not only by the government, but by all parties, including the corporate companies. I think the time is up for me. With that, thank you very much, Girish.
Thank you, Saiful. Sorry, interesting. So, just a quick question here. Can we engage your company to come and do exactly the same thing in other parts of Malaysia? And how does the economics work for that? Touching a bit also, you talked about the producers, yeah, and we have something in the circular economy blueprint called EPR. Yeah, remember that EPR, which is basically whatever you're manufacturing, you have a responsibility to make sure that it can be recycled on all components. And this is coming into force in Malaysia over the next few years. I think most European countries already have it as legislation. So maybe if you can tell us a bit about that before we move on?
I think we are open to any collaboration to work. But I will tell you, it's a messy job. Like Klang River is a long river, 56 kilometers just from the border of KL and Selangor up until to the river mouth. And towards the downstream of the river, the width of the river is between 80 to 100 meters. It requires a lot of investment. And the cleaning, the river cleaning, if we expect monetization, I will say there is no direct monetization from just the river cleaning activity. So what I'm saying that we have to look at multiple components in order to make this successful. Apart from river cleaning, then we have to look on the what can we do once the water quality improve. What can we do with the water? How can it use leverage on the existing technology to produce potable or non-potable water? Then there will be then we can see a return from the investment. In addition to that, once the river is cleaner, how can we monetize through ecotourism activity, for example, and also the land development activities along the river?
So you do think that all manufacturers should go into EPR? What's your thoughts on that?
I would say, yeah, while we are doing this project, we know from the very beginning the corporate community has to come at the early stage. We bring in F&B manufacturer in Malaysia, and we encourage them to look into EPR to implement their existing practice.
Thank you. So moving on to the next speaker. So Diana is from Iskandar Investment, and she's head of sustainability and ESG. And from a city perspective, we'd like to probably hear how she's an urban planner, an architect, and she's got a master's in science in integrated construction project management. And the township in Medini, if you could walk us through that, Diana, and talk to us a bit about what you're doing in the circular economy, because not many people, you know, we're familiar with plastics, but how does this look like from a city perspective and so on? Yeah.
Thank you, Girish.
And I think you've got about 3 minutes to do this. Thank you.
Right, and thank you. And I resonate a lot with everyone here, and I think we can speak into macro and also micro on this as well. From the standpoint of IIB, my slides, there's a lot of slides here, but I'm just going to focus on a few. To start with, we are, Iskandar Investment Berhad is a government-linked company in Johor. Our mandate is specifically to build a sustainable city in Iskandar Puteri, the Legoland area. So PRJ. And these are what we do, you know, into project development. We look into ecosystem building, and we look into education as well, because we do have EduCity, which is a city campus in Iskandar Puteri, and we are doing asset management and, you know, facility management as well. So us, sustainability and ESG, we look into overall of the overarching solutions of all of the business models that we have. Therefore, we look into IIB corporate operations, we look into the destinations, which are Medini Innopolis, which is Medini Innovation Metropolis. That is a city that you will see later on. I have a little bit about that. And we look into overall of the roadmap, a decarbonization roadmap of this city. And our mandate is also to populate, attract, and revigorate the area. You can see that's where we are. Iskandar Malaysia, as Mr. Girish said, you know, working with IRDA, Iskandar Regional, that is our municipality. And so Iskandar Malaysia is rather big. We are one of the flagship B, and we're right beside Singapore. So I practically go to Singapore for like murtabak. So 7 minutes away from my house. Oh, that's the custom lah. And then another 20 minutes for that. And then this is our ESG framework, where we do have 5 ESG pillars. One looking into low carbon city and destinations. Second, biodiversity and protection and nurturing. Third one is value chain reinvigoration. Number 4 is smart city and smart society. That's where innovation comes in. And lastly, ethical, equitable governance, right? So all of these pillars are actually what it takes for all of us to ensure circularity comes in. And if you see the dotted line in red, Pillar 1 and Pillar 5 especially is the one that we're looking at today on circularity. And of course, SDG 12, among others, are very important for us as well. And for materiality standpoint, we have about 12 right currently, but we are going to look into this next year. And we look into corporate governance, where we will talk about how much compliance will take into play, and the policy takes into consideration in moving overall of these circularity standpoint and movement. And among others, we look into low carbon stakeholder engagement, of course. We look into programs with the people, and sustainable design, use and practice, especially because we are builders ourselves. So we need to look into, procurement, sustainable procurement, and other things as well. And innovation is very important. I believe, like what 2 speakers have said just now as well, in terms of taking care of the river, for example, if we can have some innovation, and we can see a lot right now, that you can just put it as a passive product that can actually auto-clean the river, right? Then that helps all of us as well. And that is part of the innovation, and that's part of the incubation, or, the next unicorn, for example. So there's an opportunity for that, and you can work with us on this as well. Iskandar Investment, we are part of all of this. We are part of Singapore Special Economic Zone, as we are right in the middle of the Johor JSSCZ area. And Johor Green Deal, especially for Johor, among others. And and for our net zero pathways, of course, these 5 needs to go hand in hand: energy, circularity, built environment, mobility, land use, nature, and biodiversity. So today we are focusing on circularity, and we know that that's 1 out of 5 major importance in how to ensure building sustainable city and ensuring that we have a very circular and self-sustaining city as well. And these are the enablers, looking into the guidelines again, and the financing of it, ensuring the return of investments and the capabilities, and the stakeholder engagement. And these are our, roadmap, where circularity has been embedded into 1 out of 5 of the major ones up until 2050. And all this, you can refer to our sustainability report later. And this is Tech Medini, where we are building a zone called Tech Medini, which is going to be sort of like a Silicon Valley, hopefully, in Johor, where all of you, innovators, partners that looks into sustainable solutions can come and work with us in the future. So that's potentially how it's going to look like, or maybe 20% of it. But that's what we want to have, everything on Tech Medini. That's our CEO, very young. And this is Medini Innopolis. So basically, you can see 2,200 acres of 6 zones that we have, including convention center. We will have Tech Medini, and a net zero carbon central business district, 100 acre of it, that we look into completely having it very much decarbonized, especially 1 out of the 5 pillars is on circularity. I believe that's about it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. So just a quick question here. So, can I just have the sticker? Yeah. So moving on to our next distinguished speaker is Puan Elina. And we spoke about plastics. We talked about cleaning up the environment. We spoke about the physical landscape. But in Malaysia in particular, we're blessed with biomass. And Elina will talk to us a bit about biomass and how does that fit back into the circular economy. She's the CEO of Next Green Biomass, been around for more than 20 years and working in green technology, biotechnology. And she's also looked at the Malaysian green technology sector, as well as she's a microbiologist as well. So Elina, maybe you've got about 3 minutes to tell us a bit about biomass and how that works with circular, and then we'll have a few questions for you. Yeah. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon, everyone. So thank you, Girish, and of course I got to thank Control Union for inviting us to be your panel speakers today. My name is Elina. I'm representing Next Green Global Berhad. You might recognize this face as I used to be with a Malaysian federal government agency, Malaysian Green Tech. But I can say Alhamdulillah, I guess I have now gone into the private sector. And representing Next Green Global Berhad. So a little bit about organization first. We've started in 1982. The group was in a printing business. It was the first listed company in Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange as a printing and publishing company back in 2007. And then it became Next Green Global Berhad in 2017 after a reverse takeover. And the green journey started from then, from 2017 onwards. It's on the main market. We are listed on the main market in Group 2. Market capitalization about 956 million ringgit. We are having a lot of interest in industrial products and services. This is the category where we are listed. Our stock prices are not so bad, so might want to consider looking into the stock prices as well. And we're employing about more than 250 people right now. So we have our own green technology park. We established that in 2022, post-pandemic. It's a 410-acre facility in Pekan, Pahang. And the first product, and I agree with our moderator earlier, Mr. Girish, that was saying that, you know, specifically biomass is not being seen as a form of waste, but actually looked upon as a form of resource or new raw material to start with. You know, when I was in the federal government agency, of course, we had to support a lot of the many policies in the government, and a lot of policies are pushing towards bioenergy, taking biomass, burn, combust, steam, electricity. But now in the private sector, we take the biomass, we turn it into eco-products, we increase national GDP by having a lot more products for people to consume locally, but also to export, to market Malaysia as a sustainable trading nation. That, you know, we don't need to no longer compete with Thailand and Indonesia when it comes to this kind of products. Our niche is clear, our products are green. This is why importers should look to import our products. So this is where we've started with the first product. We take the biomass from the first sector, plantation sector. We work with a lot of the palm oil companies in Malaysia. We take the biomass, specifically the empty fruit bunch, and then we turn it into pulp and paper, which is our first product that we market in 2022. And then the next product that we've marketed end of last year is biofertilizers. And our upcoming product will be in animal feed. So you can see from just one form of biomass coming from the palm oil sector, we managed to generate 3 key products to be traded on global markets. So this is where it's something that we want to encourage people to get into, to look into circular economy. So of course we've got certifications. Our pulp and paper, a lot of our off-takers are asking, oh, do you have FSC? Or do you have PEFC? Our paper and pulp, they're coming from biomass. They're not hardwood, they're not softwood. So this is where, we need global standards, hoping, Control Union, you can take this up. Global standards for biomass derived pulp and paper products. CIRIM, now we are under CIRIM, which is a local certification body. So we've got the eco-labeling 071 for our product, as well as the My Hijau, which is under my previous organization, Green Tech Malaysia, to promote sustainable consumption and production. But of course, being in the palm oil sector, we are also adhering to RSPO and of course MSPO. So looking at the total plantation biomass in Malaysia of 164 million tons per annum, we are only taking the 6% of 30 million tons of empty fruit bunch. So there's a lot of opportunity to look in this space. We may not be as big as plastic, but for Malaysia and specifically Indonesia, being the two largest exporters of palm oil, there's a lot of biomass that we can work on instead of energy. So we go to the next slide here. So we are quite new, so we've invested about 160 million ringgit in the facilities, in the product development, in our R&D. We have, the Green Technology Park as well, and the subsidiaries. Wow, the time is fast. Overall, we're still emitting greenhouse gas emissions. We're emitting about 6,700 metric tons CO2 equivalent. We've created over 200 green jobs in our park. And these are our products. So we've got the pulp and paper, we've got the fertilizer. We work closely with Nafas Baja Kimia and also Kumpulan Peladang for our fertilizers in Malaysia. We also have our new product that we've also worked with a Japanese multinational company. Our partner from Japan is Crown Packaging. And then we're doing this pulp molding for packaging for Japan market. Of course, we have the Green Technology Park development and our animal feed product that will be coming soon next year. So this is the circularity that we're talking about. So sorry, the slides and the fonts are a bit small. But ultimately, we take the empty fruit bunch from the palm oil millers. From the empty fruit bunch, we will take the first grade empty fruit bunch. We will derive the medium range fibers that we need to make into our pulp, and then this is where it will be translated to our specialty paper, or our molding, packaging, and then what have you in terms of pulp and paper products. The next grade of the EFB, we look into converting, we do the delignation process. From the black liquor, we actually produce our liquid fertilizer as well as our compost. So these are our biofertilizer products. And yet, zero waste, keeping that into mind and also adopting all the waste into value, the super degraded EFB will be the only one that we pump into our biomass boiler, which we use for our own consumption. We also have solar. But even then, our consumption is still quite high. We use about 5.3 gigajoules of energy per annum. So this is where we are still connected to the grid. So we've got solar, we've got biomass, and still grid connected. But we're trying to see how we can go for more renewable energy in our utilities and renewable energy. From the animal feed product, we actually derive it from the palm kernel cake and the oil palm fronds that we get from our suppliers to then produce our animal feed, which is good to improve the digestion of cattle. So what our R&D has proven is that not only the manure that's coming from the cattle is producing the greenhouse gas emissions, but actually the burps and the farts of cattle also produce a lot of gases. So what we discovered is that animal feed that's derived from biomass actually improves a lot in terms of the digestion of the cattle, and then we're starting our R&D in poultry. We also do chemical recycling in our alkaline recycling plants, and then we also do a lot in our wastewater treatment and of course our water processes as well. So this is in a nutshell the circularity that we do in our operations. Yeah.
Thank you. Very interesting. I'm going to look at your counter and do some analysis. So we've got a little bit of time left. I think sorry, we don't have much time left. But I just thought I'd go around the panel, and I Elena, can you tell us a bit about the future in your company without revealing too much? What's next on that chart? If we were to come back 3 years from now, what would that chart look like? Is there something new you guys are thinking about working on in circular economy in Malaysia?
Yeah, thank you for that. In the horizon, I think it's important to note that we are expanding our business. Due to sustainable consumption, our biggest off-taker from China has become so interested in our business, they have now invested upstream into our new facility, which will be 15 times larger than what we currently have right now. Our current facility is about 10,000 metric tons in Pekan, Pahang. So now we're going to invest in 150,000 metric ton. And that will cater to the close to 2 billion market in China. So this is something that we're seeing in the horizon for our pulp and paper. But apart from that, I've managed to say just now that we're looking at our animal feed products. Hopefully no longer that Malaysian farmers or specifically livestock farmers are importing animal feed. We suffered during the pandemic because of that, because it was full import of animal feed. So hopefully we have now Malaysian-made animal feed that hopefully people will buy locally. And then the next one we're looking at further certifications, MSPO related. We are hoping to get that in Q1 next year. And then last but not least, we are trying to tackle new forms of biomass. We're looking at potentially beyond the palm oil plantations. We're probably going to be looking at rice husk as well as bamboo as well. So it's quite big in Malaysia. So that's something that we're looking at. Yeah.
Anything on solid waste, household solid waste? From what I understand, Malaysians, half of the waste is actually solid waste, organic food that you throw away. Is there anything that you all are looking at in that space?
We have quite a lot of engineers and technologists at our company, but there's a reason why we are very specialist in our field. It took us 20 years to develop our own technology to derive and extract from biomass. But I think for solid waste in particular, I think with Trump, I don't know whether he's here already. I'm not sure, because there was like a lot of So with Trump going around with all this tariff wars and European Union, subtle EU CBAM and EUDR deforestation regulations and all that. I think particularly Malaysia as the chair of ASEAN, and I don't know whether this is the outcome of ASEAN this year, is that we need to look at ASEAN as the next consumer market. We need to look beyond America as the final consumer. We need to look at ASEAN companies being the next ASEAN multinational companies and building ASEAN technologies. I think that's something that is very important, because we need to develop new technologies, because our technologies will serve the bottom billion of the planet. So, it's a call to all the new, young, future entrepreneurs and innovators. There's opportunity in solid waste to actually look into technologies in this space. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of our session. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I'm learning so much today. Thank you very much, Jay, Saiful, Diana, and Elena. And if you'd like to go back with one thought, please recycle your solid waste in your homes. Food that you leave in a garbage bin, do something about it. Either eat less of it so you don't waste, or figure out a simple compost system that you can create organic fertilizer that goes back into plants. Can you do that for me? Yeah? No. Marco, they're not going to do this. Where's Marco? No, think about it, yeah? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Girish Ramachandran, for moderating the session. And as a gesture of appreciation for the presentation, may I have the pleasure to please invite once again on stage His Excellency Jacques Werner, accompanied by Mr. Supun, to present souvenirs to Mr. Jussi, Mr. Saiful, Puan Diana, and Puan Elena. And now we'd like to request for the ladies and gentlemen on stage to please have a group photograph taken. Okay, big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to our moderator, our guest of honor, our panelists,